Hello there, and welcome to the Swole Initiative Network for your weekly Friday dose of the Fables of Gahlia. My name is Jay, and I'm acting like I've never done this before, but I swear we have at least 12 times. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to get going, but I guess we have some announcements to get through. Stacks, why don't you start us off, my friend?
Okay. Straight from the halls of Valhalla comes our first sponsor of the night, which is Norse Foundry. Norse Foundry makes artisan dice and gaming accessories for all of your D&D needs. Crafted from the finest metals and gemstones by the dwarves themselves. With Norse Foundry, even your nat ones will look beautiful. Check them out with the link below at norsefoundry.com and use our special code SWOLE, that's SWOLE, SWOLE, to get, my little muscles, they're like, to get 10% off today. So, yeah.
That's why Raz wears all of his billowing silks.
Yeah, it's actually just
to cover
like...
all of his jacked frame. Yo, Betty, what you got?
So our next sponsor is Nine Realms Gaming. They hand make all of their products from natural woods to create quality and affordable, beautiful gaming accessories. So you want a nice dice tray with a beautiful tower? Let's see what we roll. It's a 16, not bad. Also, you can check out Jay's DM screen that was custom made by Nine Realms Gaming with his face and the Fables of Gahlia logo and cool little runes and things. It's awesome. That was a custom piece. They do custom work, and you can actually go to ninerealmsgaming.com and use the code SWOLE10 to get 10% off of your purchase with them.
Truth. Brent.
Almost talked when I was muted, but I caught it. So I'd like to give a special thank you and shout out to our next sponsor of the evening, Griffin Co. Everything that you see that is 3D printed on our show tonight is from Griffin Co. And if you would like to get in on this action as well, you can go to griffinco.com and use promo code SWOLE22 at checkout for a big old 22% off of your order.
Awesome. And there may be several things 3D printed. Maybe. Who knows? Anyway. Ashley.
It's time to get hardcore. Roll for initiative before jumping into the mosh pit with Dyson Devil Horns. That's going to hurt my voice if I keep trying to do it. Dice in devilhorns.com for heavy metal tabletop gaming merch, mugs, and more. Use code SWOLE at checkout for 10% off your order, and be sure to follow on Instagram for those sweet, sweet memes. That's Dice, the letter in devilhorns.com, and rock before you roll. Honestly, their stuff is like adorable. I love it.
Yeah. That's it for announcements, I guess. Obviously, if you are able to, subscriptions are always appreciated. All of the money goes back into the channel to bring you more and more exciting stuff. We're really trying to build this up into something, and you guys' support thus far has been fucking phenomenal. So thank you so much. If you're not in a position to sub or gift, then please feel free to let Bezos pay. Hashtag let Bezos pay for it. And Prime subscribe. But do remember, you do have to resubscribe monthly. That one will not just roll over. So just keep that in mind when the month rolls around. And is there anything else? Oh, and if you're already primed out and you've already subbed and everything like that, or if you just don't want to, that's fine as well. We appreciate you being here. But what you could do, which does help us out, is just move that mouse cursor over to the little heart and just give us a little boop of love and just follow us, because that really helps us out too. It helps us with this exposure. And you know how creators love working for exposure, so I think that's everything, he says with a question mark.
I think so.
Okay, well, I guess let's roll the trailer and jump into tonight's Fables of Gahlia. And welcome back. So, last time, you guys had finally worked up to leaving Elderwich, both the Shade Run and the Upper Echelon. You did not go back to Eric's. You chose to leave around midday by the time you'd gotten everything together and head out onto the road. Leaving the farmlands and heading through the woodland through or along the roadway pathway. You had seen a little bit of movement in the trees, and that movement revealed itself to be a group of hunters who were chasing some deer and didn't want you to scare them away. So they offered you a spot that they had already scoped out to camp. Some of you a little suspicious, but everything seemed to check out. A couple of you go hunting with them, managed to take down some deer, so you have some fresh meat to take with you. Only for the tracker to be surprised by a cave troll and torn in two in front of you, initiating a little bit of a run, and then a combat, and then a run, and then a combat again, which you eventually finished off the troll, and headed back to camp just to settle and decompress after the events. And so as we come back into the story, is there anything you guys would like to do for the rest of the evening, or would you like to go into the long rest?
If it goes for cooking, Roz would just make 2 treats over the course of whatever meal they just made.
Okay.
What kind of treats?
I know.
I don't know. It's a surprise.
Okay.
exciting.
So that's easily done. You were in charge of the cooking anyway, so yeah, you're able to do that.
Lost is probably regaling the hunters with his heroic story about how he struck the troll so hard that the impact momentarily stunned him, and when he came to, the troll was at his feet, defeated, in ashes, after Kaya got through with it. Yeah.
Excellent. Roll a persuasion. If Lost actually believes it, roll a persuasion. If he's lying and trying to
He's
bolster
lying
himself,
stuff.
then roll a deception.
He's just boasting. He's like, Kaya would have done much better, but he's a newer adventurer. I think any seasoned adventurer knows that to fell a troll, you need to do it by the blade, not by fire. Oh, I rolled a 19, so I have a pretty good deception. Wait, let me double check. 24.
24.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Everyone, as far as the hunters, other than
23.
Flynn?
My bad. 23. Yeah.
Oh,
Still.
well, then no one believes you. No, everyone except Flynn, who's being very quiet, is kind of enthralled and they're kind of looking for the distraction, and they're kind of appreciating any kind of story in that moment that takes away from the loss of their friend. So
Got it. I see that, and I hand him my flask.
yeah, and they start swigging and passing it around. A couple of them
Yeah, and I just point to that, and I tell them there are clerics and druids and healers and clergymen, all sorts of people that can heal your body, but nothing heals your heart like that. Yeah. Heals all your emotional damage.
Lost, have you been reading from Kai's book?
The two sisters, you kind of see a couple of the guys leaning over and whispering to one another, and you catch their lips.
Yes.
And they're saying, I hope it doesn't do that to my voice.
We'll just giggle to ourselves.
Trying to imagine what Lily would sound like giggling, but
I know.
just shoulder laughing. Excellent. Yeah, so is there anything else anyone wanted to do before going into your long rest? Nope. All right. Are you guys taking watches?
Probably.
You do see that at least one of the hunters is not bedding down. He's not like in your face, but he's kind of taking a watch from just a vantage point.
Adeline will stay up for first watch. She's finishing her letter that she's writing.
Okay.
Roz will as well.
Alrighty. Well, both of you roll perception, or one can roll with advantage.
Let's both roll.
I love that confidence.
17.
17?
20 not natural.
20
Oh.
not natural. Okay.
Oh, I think you said 29, and I was like,
Yeah, so did I.
That's what I thought and I heard.
Just 29 natural. Like, how many sides does your die have? I rolled a D100. Yeah, I mean, the night goes by fairly smoothly. Is there anything you wanted to talk about?
You've been adamant about writing that letter all night, dear. Are you writing a novel?
I'm just not sure how to say the things I need to say. I've rewritten this bit more than I can count. I almost think it's best to just leave some of it out.
Yes, usually, the best stories are the ones left to the imagination.
Unless your imagination strays to the worst possible circumstance and is always kind of like, oh no, what if this happened and it's like something really, really bad? And like in that case, then maybe it's better to just be like, you know, does that how your brain? No, you don't forget I said anything then.
Lost is in his meditative elf trance, and while he's listening to this, all you hear is, "When in doubt, embellish."
Right. Just gonna crumple up the piece of paper and start on a newer sheet. Dearest Papa, and start to like write.
Fantastic.
When you're at a loss for words, draw pictures.
Sage advice.
Lost is full of the advice tonight.
I swear.
He is sleeping.
He's meditating, so this
I
is like
wasn't
coming out
commenting in
a
character.
subconscious.
Right.
In the subconscious, he's not even aware that he's saying all this. It's
That's what I'm
sleep
saying.
talking.
Like, you're not aware you're saying the things.
Yeah.
It's having an effect on him.
Happens to be relevant.
So, do you think your family will be worried? Or
Oh,
are you the worried one?
well, I had to get it from somewhere, didn't I? The circumstances of me leaving were maybe not the most above board. It was at a bit of a rush, and a lot's still left to be said, I suppose. I just want them to know I'm alright, that I am coming back, and just let them know of our route. I also, like, really need money, and that's kind of what I'm trying to word my way around a bit, you know what I mean? Like,
Are they stringent, or?
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, why would they be? But, you know, at the same time, they may be a little, less than pleased with me, perhaps. I don't know. I don't know. Hence the whole, you know, my brain is just like on the worst case scenario. They're like, oh, Adeline, she's the worst. She's such a disappointment to our family and our whole line, and we're gonna disown her and never, you know, like that could be happening. It's probably not happening, but it could be. You know.
Yes, but let's focus on what we do know. You accomplished the task that you set forth to do.
Yes.
Maybe they were expecting someone else, but, well, they should have put that in the note, or whatever information they sent over. But that's not your fault, dear, and I believe, given the situation, you handled it well.
You know, it's good to hear. It's good to hear that encouragement.
The ends always justifies the means. Don't worry.
Is he always like this?
He's rather chatty today.
I feel
Normally he sleeps in his own room, so maybe he's always like this. I just never knew.
just like speaking advice to the walls. I feel like I should be writing it down. I could, publish a book.
What if this is how Kaya gets his information?
Honestly,
Honestly?
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Well, just write from your heart what you feel, and let your parents worry about the rest as it goes.
Right.
You are your own person. You don't have to consistently please them, I don't think.
Oh, you're not joking.
Oh no, I'm dead serious.
Oh. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna have to really think on that one. But you know what? You might. There's a part of you that could be right about that, but yeah, she's just like sweating profusely. Picking up another one, throwing it to the fires. Dearest Papa.
Fantastic. The rest of your watch, like other than the sound of owls and other night birds, things, and kind of rustles in the tree canopy, your watch goes smoothly. Who is taking second?
Well, my meditative state would also be done. So this whole time I was just at my spirit board, sort of mumbling quietly under my breath with my eyes closed, and that was my rest. So you also heard that with the birds.
Abby.
So I'll take the next watch because I'm rested.
Is anyone else, or is
I can.
okay?
How was your rest?
Normal.
Good. Did you meet anybody new?
No.
Okay. How you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm okay.
We
You know that
watched
I've
someone get ripped in two.
That's what I was about to talk about. Yeah. You know that I believe that everything happens for a reason and fate decides all. And Eastus allows what's supposed to happen. But that can be hard to watch sometimes.
Yeah.
And I know that there was nothing I could do to fix that. That is what had to happen.
Yeah. He is at peace, though.
Good. You saw him.
Yeah, I mean, some of them live out their dying moments over and over on repeat. And I don't think he is.
Good. Good. This journey that we're on is not what I expected.
I didn't expect anything.
Yeah. I don't know. I just thought maybe it would just be like Eastus would just show us exactly the way to go, and it would just be easy to find the answers. But you know what? Maybe I'll look back and see that it was easy. We're just in the middle of it now.
I have more questions now
I do too.
than when we left.
I do too. But we're building an army.
We
The
are.
army of fate.
We are.
Yeah.
We might need more carts.
Oh, good point. Good point.
How much gold do we have? Do we have to pay off someone every time we buy
Oh,
a
that's a
cart?
good question. I don't really know
Do
how
they
any of
always
this
live in the
works.
carts?
I don't know. Do people who take care of horses always live in? We'll have to find out, or maybe ask Lost. He would know.
I'd imagine he just steals the carts when he wants them.
Yeah, probably. Hmm.
We'll
Oh.
cross that bridge when we get to it.
Alrighty, you can roll some perception checks or one with advantage.
Let's both roll.
Okay. Was it my d20?
I should have let you roll with advantage.
That was a bad roll.
Me too. Mine's 10.
10?
Yeah, that's never that low.
13.
Don't you have like a plus 10?
I have +7. I rolled really
I
low.
rolled a 13.
13. Okay. Most of the night goes by. You guys kind of just catch up with each other emotionally and check in with each other as sisters do. And then you hear it. The rustle.
What is that?
It's to the left. And
Eyes
then
of the grave.
to the right. You let out your divine sense for the undead, and nothing returns.
I'm gonna pull my goggles down and look into the trees.
Okay, make a perception check again.
Okay, that's better. 22.
22. Okay. So you're looking up in the trees, or the 22, you hear another rustle. The goggles allow you to pick up movement. It's on the floor. It's about 20 feet away. Your eyes dart down, and there is a fox.
It's a fox.
Mm-hmm.
I tell my sister and I just take my goggles off. I'm like, I think it's fine, unless if it's running from something.
You want me to ask it? I have a potion of animal friendship. I think that means I can speak to it. Nope.
I mean, you can already speak to it. I don't think it would speak back, but you can still do it.
That doesn't mean I can speak with it. That is true. I will look for the fox and see if it looks like it's running from something.
It's gone.
Well, hope it wasn't running from something. I will look around to see if there's anything else.
Make another perception check then.
Much better. That is a 19.
Okay. As you spend the rest of your watch looking for a fox, one does not appear. But it was a nice way to spend the rest of your evening with your sister. And your watch goes by smoothly. And so you can all complete a long rest.
Oh,
Get your heals, get your magics and everything. And sunrise comes as everyone starts to come to. That was a nice music change. I didn't plan that one.
you did.
So this nice golden sunlight kind of crackles through the tree canopy to where you are. The hunters have started to build a small fire to kind of cook up a little bit of breakfast before they head out. What would you like to do?
Which way are y'all going?
We're probably just going to head back to Elderwich to try and offload some of this deer at the marketplace before we go back to
You don't mind if we take this one with us, right? The one that I, that Rose and I killed.
Oh no, that was part of the deal. Like, you helped us track it down and things, and you keep what you kill.
All right, thank you.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to say I'm sorry for your loss. He seemed like a really nice guy. I was really looking forward to, having, some talks with him over dinner, and that was a really upsetting situation.
Yeah. I mean, thank you for what it's worth.
Well,
I'm sure the two of you would have found quite a bit in common.
I kind of thought that too. He just seemed like my kind of guy, if that makes sense.
I think I get it.
All right. Well, I want you to, y'all be safe on your travels. We got to go this way, and we'll, hopefully we'll run into more people like you guys.
Yeah, well, be careful out there. Not everyone's as friendly as us.
Yeah, I've come to learn that over the last, couple of years.
All right. Well, we're gonna pack up and head out. Probably eat on the road.
All right.
If you need anything from us before we go, just let me know. All right.
That sounds good. All right.
And so he goes back to packing everything else up. He takes a few moments as you see him walking past one empty bedroll before continuing on.
Lily, did you hear that? They're not coming with us.
I was just thinking that that's weird.
It is weird. Huh.
I was positive that they would travel with us.
I agree. It's just what happens. Maybe their fate lies elsewhere.
So, if no one else is wanting to do anything else, I guess, Rhapsody, would you take breakfast for everyone?
Okay.
Be in charge of that. You guys kind of have your fill, pack your things back up, load up the cart, and head out for the second day of travel. So, getting back out on the road, first of all, who is where? On the cart?
I am in the cart.
In the cart.
I'll sit up front again.
Okay.
I'll be up front. I did pretty well last time.
All right. And who is driving?
I'll let him drive again.
I'm gonna try again. Yes.
All right. You can make another animal handling roll, but with advantage because you bonded with the horses very well last time.
All right. Ooh, 17. Ooh, 19.
19.
19.
Nice. Yeah. you're able to, you don't quite get the jumpy start that you did last time with your overzealous, yeah! But you kind of take it down a couple of notches, and rather than everyone getting flung to the back of the cart, it actually starts to take off at a normal speed.
All right.
That was smooth.
We're known to be good drivers.
Yeah. Who me and you, or more you?
The Shadow God.
Okay. Well, I'll take your word for it. You're the only one I've ever met.
They're not-
Alrighty,
Yes,
I
they are.
need someone to roll a d20 for the next day of travel.
Somebody else can do it this time.
No, you can redeem yourself, Kaya. Come on.
I don't want any more cave trolls.
You got a man murdered last time.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Oh, no.
Thank
Your
you.
fault, Kaya.
I'll do it. It's fine. I'll take the fall this time. 9.
9.
Okay.
9.
Okay. And then also roll a d6 for me.
Oh.
Slightly below average.
5.
Just like that.
5?
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
Okie doke.
That's not ominous at all.
So the road seems fairly empty at this time of day. You guys have kind of packed up and left with the hunters at the same time, so they get on the road pretty early. So you have like pretty much a full day ahead. It's probably around 6 in the morning.
Okay, you're good with maps and
Yeah.
directions, right?
Mhm.
How long do you think it'll be until we get to the next settlement?
So I haven't been this way before. Did we get a map last time? Okay. And all right. So I'm gonna look at the map and I'm gonna estimate how long, where we stayed the night before and how long we've been on the road, and I'm gonna say how long till we get to the next settlement.
Yeah, so you've got you have traveled for half a day, so you've probably got another full day of travel, and you guys will make it to the Ulfgate river, and then it's probably another day and a half after that to get to Vargaden.
So we got that far and that long. I'm just gonna repeat what he said.
They're crossing at the river.
Is there one on the map? A crossing?
Not on the map.
I'm not sure. It doesn't have one on the map, but I hope there is, because if there's not, we might have trouble getting the cart across.
If it's a shallow river, I think we should be able to get across.
I mean, it's a pretty big river on the map.
Oh.
Guess we'll find out tonight.
Yeah. We don't want to try to ford a river in the dark, especially, one we haven't, crossed before. It's bad enough, on horseback alone, but when you're pulling a cart full of all of our stuff and y'all, we don't need to do that.
Adeline kind of surreptitiously pulls out a piece of paper and writes, "Never ford a river in the dark, Kaya." And she's kind of slips it back into her bag.
I mean, we're on a road, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think there'll be a bridge? if the road goes over the river?
There could be, but it doesn't show it to be on the map. Sometimes, when you're crossing your road crosses a river, the map will show it has like this little symbol for bridge, and this one doesn't have it.
Perhaps we should have splurged on the map a little bit. Anyways, I'll just keep going. I'll lean back and I'll say, so Adeline, what can we expect at the Institute? Are they hostile? Are they
Hostile? No. Not outright.
So not openly hostile.
Right. There's, maybe a bit haughty at times, and most everyone is absolutely pleasant, lovely, lovely people. There's a few who maybe, even though they don't make as good marks as some people, and even though they're not quite as skilled as some people, they still find it some way to look down on them and, call them Adeline and all this kind of but, it's fine, and they're all great, and I can't wait to see them.
Adeline, were they talking about you?
What? No, does that sound like me? No, everyone loves me there. I'm like, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. They're great. It's gonna be great. We're all gonna have a great time.
Well, I think you're great.
Thank you, Rose.
I mean, I've only ever been around my sister and my aunts, and you're pretty great.
Well, in such esteemed company, that means so much.
Yeah.
Truly. Sorry, sometimes I say things and it sounds insincere, but I really mean them quite nicely. Yes, it's, to be frank, maybe I'm, not the coolest person at the Institute, like I'm sure you guys all thought. I'm sure you were like, there goes Adeline, I bet she's like the cool one that they send out on the cool little quest and all that stuff. I know that you were thinking it. Yeah, maybe that's not the truest thing, but what's beautiful about that place is everyone's just the pursuit of knowledge, isn't it? It's exciting. There's always something to be discovered, and I think you will all truly, truly have a very good time.
Lost chuckles and he goes, "Oh no, you were the one with the good grades and lots of extracurricular activities."
Yeah, like the cool one, yeah.
Obviously, the smart one that learned everything.
Right.
I do most of my learning from experience. I pick things up as I go along. Like when I say pick things up, I don't mean like I pick up a rock and carry it. I mean, although sometimes if you pick up big rocks, you get stronger, but that's not what I meant. Like when you experience things.
It's almost like you should put this in a book, Kaya. Market it.
When you experience things, that's how I learn them, and I learned a lot from Roz's dad that way. He taught me by doing. And that's how I learned things growing up on the farm.
So you grew up together? Roz's father raised you both?
Well, I mean, I grew up on a farm pretty far south. And and then when I was a little older, like an older like teenager, I, my village helped, get together enough money to pay for my travel to go to the monastery where Roz grew up, and we spent several years together there. That's how we became such good friends.
Lovely. What is this monastery?
Well, they helped me
It's
learn.
in
Go ahead.
the Temple of the Flowing Sand. Have you heard of it?
Have I heard of it?
Make a history check.
22.
22. Yeah, you start thinking back to your studies and you're like, oh, there was this one book that you read that spoke about lots of legendary places that weren't known to exist, but there were a lot of stories and folk tales and things that spoke about it. And the Temple of the Flowing Sands, the 22, was said to be this beautiful temple made of golden hued stone, surrounded by a chasm that drops off to nothing, and beyond that is surrounded by crashing waves of sand, just like an ocean that crest and crash, but it's all made of sand.
But in the writings, it's been like mostly referred to as fictional. Or-
Yeah, the book isn't like, these are facts about history. It's more of tales of old, legends.
You're telling me that you've been there, that it's a place you can go.
Some people can go there. You can't just walk up and go there. You kind of have to be called.
Fascinating. Just as you
Yeah.
possibly stand to learn a bit from the Institute, I think it could stand to learn quite a bit from you as well.
For me, I don't have any.
From all of you, in
Yeah.
your own ways.
Hmm.
Just curious. I'd like to hear more about it sometime.
Beautiful place.
Adeline, as you ask that question, I need the two drivers to make a perception check.
Yeah.
18.
18?
8.
8? So Kaya, you're engrossed in this conversation because you're actually getting to talk about, like, someone's openly asking you about how you grew up. You're not just telling them. And you're wrapped up in this conversation, lost as you kind of start drifting away from that in boredom. Your eyes kind of catch this tree, and it seems to be swaying more than the others in front of you. And then all of a sudden, as the tree falls and crashes into the road in front of you, taking up the entire road space. And then as you're looking around in the chaos, you hear behind you, I need you to make an animal handling check as the horses start to rear up.
This is like not one of the ya times, right? All right.
This is an anti-hyun.
I rolled a 4.
4. The horses kick up, but because they're attached, they go to run, and fall to the side.
I totally yah when I should have yay.
You yeed when you should have hawed.
Ted looks hurt. Jerry looks okay, but is kind of stuck, unable to move because of the restraints that are on him. As you start hearing shouts coming from either side of you, I need everyone to roll initiative.
Ambush!
Oh, wait. In fantasy times, we can heal horses, right? We don't just have to kill them if they get hurt, right?
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh god.
I mean, you guys have healing magic. So.
We also got healing bullets. Just kidding.
Alrighty.
Do you want me to put it on the battle map screen?
Yeah, let's do it.
So cool. And our wagon is so extra. I like it.
I mean, it was someone's house.
It was.
Alrighty, 25 to 20.
Oh, wait.
22.
23.
Okay. Raz and Kaya. 20 to 15.
Oh, sorry, I got a 21.
Oh. All right. 20 to 15. No one? Oh, okay. 15 to 10.
10.
10 to 5.
9.
Oh,
Adeline.
no.
Out of 4!
What are you doing?
Just busy talking. Just jab, 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 jab.
She thinks it's part of the trip.
Ooh, a little bit of turbulence.
Oh, look, someone actually rolled lower than you, Adeline.
Well, ow.
Okay, all right, on the map, where is everyone? Well, Kaya, you see around here, and Lost
Kaya's prone.
on the front. He's up. Yeah, yeah. Everyone else, I guess, would be in the back. So I will just scatter you out. Okay. As you see emerging from the woods, several bandits, although these are fairly well armored bandits. And they rush in and just be like, "Give me everything you got now!" Kaya, you're at the top of initiative. What do you do?
I'm going to run up to that dude with the sword.
Which one? This one?
Yep.
Okay.
And I'm going to hit him with my Morning Star.
Alrighty. Roll and attack.
$21.
Yeah, that hits.
$13 points of like piercing damage.
Alrighty.
And bonus action. Bonus action flurry of blows.
Okay. Roll a couple of attacks then.
No, that one was 15 plus natural 20 on that one.
Oh.
Ooh.
And on the unarmed ones, I want them to be, I'm going to do Draconic Strike and change them to acid damage.
Okay.
So that will be
Roll some damage.
first one with just the regular hit is 7 points of damage, acid damage.
Okay.
The next one, I rolled 2 1s on my double dice. So that's 7 more points of acid damage.
7 total.
Yeah, so 14 all together on the flurry of blows. And that's it.
All right. Yeah, so you run up, take your first strike with your Morning Star, and then quickly holstering it, launch in with these fist blows that seem to be, as they start to strike, he looks down, and his clothes and armor seem to be hissing away and melting from the elemental damage of the acid strikes. He is already not looking great. Raz, you're up.
Okay.
With Lily on deck.
Am I on like Rose and Lily's side or on? Where am I?
You can be on whichever side you want, because you were behind the mic, so you didn't go on the map.
Oh, okay. Roz will jump out and leap above the girls on the Lily and Rose side and get in front of them, and land by that guy there and go to attack him.
All right.
We're gonna use the dagger, boys and girls.
Come on. Come on.
Me 4 to hit?
You say 24?
Yes.
Yeah, that
It
hits.
worked.
Yay!
Oh, did you want some distance then? Are you throwing it? Because I had you in melee. Did you want to be a little step back?
Yeah, I just want to be as
Just
a
in front.
buffer for the girls. Yeah.
Understood. Yep. Okay.
7 points piercing,
Okay.
and then you will attempt to do it again.
Let's go.
Uh, 21 to hit.
That hits.
Nice. 2 more piercing damage.
2 more. All right. So,
that should be
go on. Did you want to do
Oh, no,
anything
no.
else?
That's all.
So the sisters, you see as this kind of blue blur of silks kind of just effortlessly bounds in between you in front as Rhapsody spins and draws the flame dagger of Corim out, the dark, like gunmetal blade, and he flicks it over as it stabs into the assailant that's in front of you as he goes to grab it, and it disappears as Rhapsody continues his spin, and it reappears in his hand and flicks it over as it sinks into the other side as he goes and tries to grab it again, and Rhapsody stood there as it reappears once more.
Yeah.
That's sick. Awesome. Anything else on your turn, buddy?
Nope, that should be all.
Alrighty. We got one of the guys, the one that's in front of Kaya right now. So he is going to, he actually has a mace. It looks like a sword, but it's actually a mace. So he's going to take a couple of attacks at you. That is 22 to hit.
Yep.
And a natural 20.
Ah. He's returning the favor.
There you go. So that is, what is that? That one is, that's not too bad. 7 points of bludgeoning, and then the natural 20. 10 points of bludgeoning. As he kind of reels back and goes, all right then, let's do this the hard way. And just starts wailing into you with this heavy, heavy mace. Where one cracks to the side and you go and you turn towards it and kind of bear open your neck as he sees the opening and crack. Takes it down straight on the side of the neck as you reel back in pain. That is going to end his turn. And then it is another one of their turns that is... this guy right here. He is going to run in, draw his mace. And these guys have pack tactics, so they get advantage when within 5 feet. Natural 20.
Oh no.
And a 19.
Oh.
That hits.
Both hit.
Yep.
5 points of bludgeoning, and the crit. Oh, I already rolled a 1 on the crit, so that's
Lucky.
9 points of bludgeoning as he sees his friend being attacked and taking damage and rushes in to save him. As you're reeling back, gripping your neck from the impact before, and just the like pain coursing through you, and your vision is blurred slightly, comes in and just crack across the chin from the other side. That will end their turn, and I'm back up again because you guys are split.
I think, did you skip me?
You skipped Lily.
Oh, I did. I'm so sorry. Lily.
Can I see the one that Roz was fighting?
Yeah, I mean, you could step to the side slightly and you'd see straight. If you need
Okay.
like a straight line, you could step like,
I just have to
Here?
see him.
yep, you can step there and see him.
Okay, I will cast Dissonant Whispers at 2nd level.
Ooh, all right.
So I need a Wisdom save.
Oh, these guys are full of wisdom. That is a 10 plus 0 for a 10.
That's a fail because 15
What?
is the DC. So I have to find 4 D6.
Holy crap. 46.
Yep.
Every time.
Every
Time.
It is
It's
every
the law.
time.
It is the rules of D&D.
I personally prefer the fireball at 86.
86.
86.
Where are all
So
my
many
D6s?
D6s right now.
I can't.
Did you not
find-
unpack your dice?
I did, but they're all like at the bottom of my little jar.
Oh no.
You want me to bring you some?
I got them.
Okay.
Oh,
Wow,
that's
how far are you jumping? He's going to Florida. To
I'll be there in 14 hours.
10 psychic damage.
Oh, all right.
And he's scared of me.
Oh, he has to immediately flee if he has a reaction, right?
Yes.
And that he does.
Move as far as its speed allows from me.
He is off the map
Nice.
as the ghostly whispers start billowing in, and almost this ethereal smoke starts treading as these ghosts that only Lily can see start clawing up through the grass and start grasping at his pants leg, and he's like and just takes off. Yeah.
Oh my.
I think I have a bonus action I can do. I'll go ahead and give my sister Bardic Inspiration,
Boom.
and I'll say, I think they're playing with fate, trying to block us here.
I agree. Are you still a D6?
Yes.
Okay.
And
Alrighty. Anything else? You have
I'll
a lot of
stay-
movement still if you want to.
I'll stay where I'm at.
Got it?
And that's my turn.
Okay. All right. That's what happened 2 turns earlier.
Yeah.
Continuing back in the regular timeline. I'm so sorry about that.
It's okay.
I have done that one. Oh, this is okay. Yeah, so this guy here is going to yeah, he makes it to Kaya.
Oh.
There, actually, I'm gonna have him make a couple of acrobatics checks because the horses are kind of knocked over and kind of flailing around, and there's not a lot of room. Okay, so he only lost 5 feet of movement, and he has 30. So he still gets there, but can't go any further. So he'll make his mace attacks. That is a 14.
Misses.
Oh, he gets advantage. So that's an 18.
Misses.
Oh, all right. And that's also an 18. So
Oh.
So as you're kind of reeling, you hear this movement coming from behind you, and you just get this sense that it's not one of your friends, and so you flail your tail wildly at him as he's going to strike, and it knocks the mace away. Just good reactions there. And then that'll end his turn, and then I have this guy here who can't really get involved there. He will come this way and then get met with a lot of people. He's gonna stay there, and he's gonna ready his heavy crossbow and take an attack at you didn't see what happened, so the closest one is Lost, so he's gonna take a shot at Lost. Oh, with a 7. So he kind of loads it and isn't expecting to see everyone, and so kind of, oh god, and just straight past you, making no contact. That is their go. Rose, you are up, and Lost, you are on deck.
If I go and stand like in front of Lost by the horses, would I be 30 feet within 30 feet of all 4 of the bad guys?
25. You want to get like here?
Yeah, I want to be. I need them to all be within 30 feet of me.
Yeah, they're all within 30.
Okay, so
Except the one that ran off.
That's fine. He's scared of my sister. He's not coming back. I will reach out, and from me you'll see like gold movement or gold strings, like threads, come out from me, and it'll all go like into their faces, and they've all been cast Bane. So all 4 of them at the 2nd level are now under Bane.
Ooh, is there a save on that?
It's a charisma save.
Yeah. All right. Fail. 14?
Nope. Fail.
Fail. And how many more?
You have 1 more to.
1 more, yeah. Fail.
Okay. So they are all now baned. Then, since I'm there, I will look at Kaya and cast Healing Word,
Nice. All right.
which will be. Oh. Sorry, it's only 6 points of healing.
Basically doubled my hit points.
Well, if you were down, I could have given you full healing.
How about next time you just die?
Just die, and then I can help you more.
Yeah.
You know, that's what the grave clerics do. You know.
Sorry, I'll die next time.
Alrighty. That the end your turn. You're gonna finish there.
I don't have any more movement, right? I'm there.
I think you've got 5 feet.
Is that horse still upright?
This one is. It's kind of fallen over, but doesn't look hurt. The other one looks hurt.
Okay, the one that's not fallen over because it's the one closest to me. I'm just gonna go kind of stand near it, like. Yeah.
Okay. Easily done. All right, Lost.
I just
you're up.
imagine my hand like calming the nose of the horse. Like,
Okay, I'll let you do a free action for that. Lost, what you got, buddy?
Yeah, so although Lily is one of the worst people to owe debts to, Lost is going to step back and kind of shield her from the crossbowman. And then he's going to use his bonus action, and this figure of smoke kind of leaves Lost's body, sinks into the ground, and appears 15 feet away, and it moves up to those 3 guys in this, near Kaya.
How much movement does it have?
It has 30 feet of movement.
Okay. So I would say that you could get it like here.
Okay, and then I'll take an attack action.
Okay.
That is a 12.
12 to hit.
Yep.
That actually hits.
That actually hits? Oh my god. That is 7 damage
7 on which one?
on that one right there. Yeah.
Okay. That one hadn't been hit previously. You get 2 attacks with it.
I only have 1 attack, but I'll spend the
Oh, that's right. With
incarnation. I'll spend that, and I will actually, since these guys are easy to hit, I will actually use Great Weapon Master.
Ooh.
My new feat.
All
And
right.
I'll swing at the guy to the south because I want to hit one of each of them to draw their attention away from Kaya.
So this guy.
Yep.
All right. Blue bow.
Okay.
Go for it. That guy hasn't been hit yet either.
13.
13 hits. Is that with the negative?
Yeah, to the negative.
There you go. So roll your damage and add 10.
Oh wow. Okay. 20 damage. That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah, so the specter appears and just starts whipping its chain out across these 2 thugs
Probably on a single attack.
as they crack one into the back as he and then it kicks it off the floor and it sends the spearhead straight into the guy's chest, who is now profusely bleeding from just below his sternum as it whips the chain back and it wraps around its arm. Anything else you want to do?
No, that's it. That's all I have.
All right. Sweet. Adeline, you get a turn now.
Oh, how exciting! All right. I want to target that guy who's like back to the trees fighting Kaya. Yeah, him.
Yeah.
I am going to cast Mind Sliver. It's gonna need to make a intelligence saving throw.
Okay.
Is that person veined as well?
Yeah, so it's minus a d4, right?
Minus
So that's a 4 minus 2, so that's 2.
Sick. They're gonna take 1d6 of damage and then just hold on just a second. We're gonna do some more. Hold on. Come on, D&D. My dice. All right. Well, they're gonna take 1 point of damage, and then I'm going to quicken Tasha's Mind Whip. So, and since I did Mind Sliver, you're gonna take an additional D4 off of that, because of the Mind Sliver. So I need another Intelligence saving throw.
Oh, he's double fucked then.
Oh god.
Holy crap. Minus 2d4.
Mine is 24.
6.
Fantastic. All right. So then you're gonna take 3d6 damage, and you can't take a reaction until the end of your next turn. And on your next turn, you can choose whether to move, take an action, or a bonus action. You only get 1.
All right.
So let me do some damage to you. Gonna take 15 for that one, so 16 total for them.
Okay. As you're casting Tasha's Mind Whip, how does it look?
I think she just like extends her arms in front of her, and like black tendrils of smoke just kind of like go and like soak into his face, kind of like through his eyes and in his nose and every like orifice, and just kind of like.
Yeah. So you guys watch as exactly as she said, Adeline extends, and this black smoke just kind of starts billowing out of her hands as it starts almost like it's running towards this one thug, as these tentacles start coming out and tendrils as it starts wrapping into all of his orifices, digging into his ears and through his nose and coming out back through his mouth as it starts pushing its eyes out as he and falls.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was a good moment.
Thank you.
You have anything
Who
else?
saw that?
And then she's going to, if she ducks behind the back of the cart, can she get any cover back there?
Yeah, I'd say you got like 3/4 cover from most things, or full cover from the other guy.
Cool. And that's it.
All right, that's it. So then there's the other guy who is terrified. Does he make another save?
I don't
No.
think so. The creature doesn't move into obviously dangerous ground, such as fire, on a successful save. Nope.
Nope. All right. He's gone.
Good.
You just don't hear from him again.
Nice.
So back to the top of the round. Kaya, you are up. You feel that healing energy kind of bringing you back a little bit, and you
As I
spot out a bit of blood.
as I feel rejuvenated a little bit, and I see this other guy go down with like this thing that came from Adeline. I feel I was ready to retreat for a moment, but I'm going to go ahead and attack the guy right in front of me.
Awesome. Big shout out to Vonkowski Oddities. Thank you so much for the raid.
That is 14 plus 7, 21.
21 hits.
And this was with my my Morning Star again.
Yep.
That's 11 points of piercing damage.
To this guy.
Yes.
Yep.
And bonus action.
Did you say 11?
Yes, 11.
How do you want to do this?
Oh yes. I just want to take my Morning Star, and I'm gonna swing up and just hit him in the chin, so that it just kind of flips him over backwards on his back, and his chin kind of hangs loose.
Yeah, so after being bent over and doubled and just being pummeled on from all different directions, you and drag your Morning Star upwards, clubbing this guy under the chin as you watch him like lock, stock style. Poof. He's thrown up and you see him sideways as he falls to the ground dead. Rose, you actually see something bounce off the tree, and you look down and there's just a bottom jaw with several teeth missing.
I'm
Great.
going to imagine that Guy Ritchie directed every one of our fights now.
That's how it should be.
Yes.
Formative part of my teens.
Yes, absolutely. So now I'm going to bonus action flurry of blows on this guy to my left now. I'm going to get all of the revenges, hopefully. 17 plus 7, 24.
24
And-
hits.
And 18 plus 7, 25. So these are unarmed strikes. I'm going to do, he looks like he probably doesn't like cold damage. So he's going to get cold.
Okay.
My fists are going to be like ice golem fists hitting him. Let's see if I can. Yes. That'll be 9 points.
Okay.
On the first one, and 6 points on the second one. And it's
then
just like you see him drop his mace back down, and then just like one fist hits him on like the right side, and then his left fist comes around and hits him on the other side.
Yeah, so Rose, and I guess Adeline might as well, possibly lost. You see as Kaya throws his fists down, and as he does, they start to crust over with this ice. As you whack, as the ice shatters on impact. This guy is not looking good. He's got like this like blue burnt skin where the impacts were made. He's not looking great. Anything else on your turn?
No.
All right, then we have Lily. No, Raz. Sorry.
Oh, nice.
This, like everyone is like one, like in a row at the top.
The guy behind that rock up there that tried to attack lost.
Yep.
Raz will throw his dagger at it and then immediately sprint to get in melee distance of him, and then follow up with a fury of blows.
Let's do it. Roll an attack for the ranged dagger.
Okay. 22.
22 hits. So, Lily, you would see as Rhapsody's carrying on this movement from the previous round, as he passes the dagger off to the other hand and throws it, but immediately takes off after it, almost keeping speed with it. How much damage?
9 points of piercing, and then knowing that the blade's gonna come back at me, I'll just roundhouse kick and then like do like one of those split kick with my fury of blows for my 2.
Okay, sweet. How much damage from the dagger? Sorry.
9 for the
9. Okay, thank you.
25 to hit for the first.
That hits. A 12 hit, guys. Come on.
6 points of bludgeoning, and then a 7 to hit.
That does
Split
not
kicks,
hit.
I'm still working those, perfecting those.
That does not hit. No.
Okay.
But yeah, as the dagger hits, and he just looks surprised as he looks down, and then he looks up, and Rhapsody is already there, and you roundhouse kick and kick the dagger on the hilt, driving it 6 inches deeper as your hand readies itself. As the dagger reappears, you go for another spinning kick, but he's knocked back a little bit, and so it just arcs wide.
Okay. And then I'll like pivot balance on my one leg and like pull the other leg back and just like hold.
Oh, okay. Yes. You know what? I'm gonna let you do that pose on the rock.
Nice.
Just because it was that epic.
That should be all I got.
All right, awesome. Lily, it is your turn.
So, who can I see? Can I?
You can
anybody?
see. You can see Rose. You can see Lost. If you turned around, you'd probably be able to just make out Adeline. You can see Rhapsody, and if you were to step to the side, you'd see the red guy with the bow.
Okay, so I'll step over so I can see the red guy. And I will cast I think I'll go ahead and cast Dissonant Whispers again.
Okay.
Because, yeah. I'll save that other thing. So wisdom save, please.
17.
What the heck?
It's a natural 17, it's plus 0.
Ooh.
Norse Foundry
Anyways,
dice, everyone.
So you still get half damage, but you're not scared. But whatever.
Okay, roll that damage. As the whispers start.
That's gonna be 6 psychic damage.
6 psychic damage. Okay. He's also not looking great as the psychic damage starts pulling in and his eyes just start to bleed slightly from the corners. He starts looking around, like frantically, looking from side to side, scoping the battlefield.
Oh, like trying to find his friends or trying to find like a way out?
That's what you see.
That's all. That's my turn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. He's dead. He's not. No, he's dead. Where's my guys?
They're dead.
No, I got 2. Whose turn is it? His turn. Oh. So it is this guy's turn here. Being surrounded and seeing 2 of his friends just get obliterated in front of him. He is going to tuck tail and run this way. This is the he did see the clouds coming from that way. Yeah, he's gonna take off directly over here. So he gets that far because of the difficult terrain, and you get an attack of opportunity if you'd like to take it. Are you Sentinel?
No, I don't have Sentinel, but I am going to take the attack.
Yep, sure. Roll an attack.
Uh, 22.
22. Yeah, that hits.
And I'm gonna hit him with the ice again.
Okay. So unarmed strike. Once again, your fist freezes over as you go to launch it at him.
That'll be 9 points. No, 7. Excuse me, 7 points of cold damage.
He is hanging on by a thread. By a thread. But he does make it that far. Then it is this guy over here who is, again, like I said, assessing the battlefield. He's going to turn and run through here. Technically, that on the rock was just flavor, so you were in melee, so you do get an attack of opportunity if you'd like to take it. Rhapsody.
Oh, because he's close. Okay.
And he's leaving your space.
I will use the dagger. Why not? Ah! I've used it up. Okay, so that's an 8.
Yeah, from your crane stance, you're not quite as balanced as you kind of, oh, he's taking off, like throw it as it sticks into the tree behind him as you pull it back, but he is managing to escape. It is Rose.
Can I see that one that's escaping?
Yeah, you definitely would have, especially with your passive.
Sure. Okay. Then I'm gonna toll the dead. He needs to make a wisdom save.
Is that 60 feet?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, he's within that. It's a what save? Wisdom?
Wisdom?
13 minus a d4.
Thank you.
That's 9.
Cool. That fails. So he takes 10 necrotic damage.
How do you want to do this?
Um,
As you see him taking off, just bleeding from the eyes slightly from your sister's assault, he starts running. The dagger misses, and you see him.
I like to think that as the dagger misses, I send out like this I make an action. Nobody sees anything, but he reacts because he can suddenly hear like the bells in his head, and he just like falls dead.
So he's running and running and running, and you look and focus on your holy symbol as you hear in the distance, boom, and he's sprinting, and then all of a sudden just crumples and falls over, extinguished.
And I would immediately look over to the other one.
Yep.
um
Who's also like in full like
Oh, I don't have a bonus action that can do anything, and I don't think you're gonna let me pull out my bow to do anything
That's a free
else.
action.
But that would be another action to
Oh, yes,
actually
it would
use
be.
it, so
Yeah.
I won't. It's okay. I will say, don't let him get away.
All
I'm
right.
working on it.
Lost. You're up, buddy.
Lost is going to sprint to the left, full 30 feet of movement, and then use his towards the other guy. Yeah, towards the other guy.
And you're like, yeah, you no,
And
you're
then-
15 feet away from him.
Yeah, and then I'll misty step the last 15 feet and end up right in front of him.
Yep.
And he just like chest bumps me like boom, and I just look at him and I go, I'm going to allow you to make the most important decision of your life. Choose a better career, and let it be known that Losteroth spared your pathetic life.
As he bumps into you and just looks up at your armored form, terrified, just goes, "Who the hell are you?"
Losteroth of the Crimson Syndicate. And I
yet-
slowly pull out my bandana and tie it around my neck.
all right. I would say make an intimidation roll, but he's already pretty fucking intimidated, so yeah. Okay. Is that all you want to do?
Yeah, and as he tries to run, I trip him too, just for the hell of it, and laugh.
Okay. Make an. We'll just do like a quickness kind of dexterity check.
Okay. 16.
2.
Oh.
So as you kind of step to one side, you leave your foot just angled up as he and eats it in the dirt. Is that your turn?
Yeah, and I let him run.
All right. And then we have Adeline.
Oh, right. How far is he?
From you? Pretty far.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't see that all go down anyway. So,
Unless you're kind of
yeah.
creeping around it, then you
Well,
would.
then
You go
maybe
straight line from there.
so then she probably saw him let him go. And then
And then get kicked to the floor.
Oh, wait, he's on the ground now?
Yeah, he's prone.
I'm a bully. I tripped him.
Or-
It's this guy.
Then she's gonna come up and go ahead and walk towards, like, in their direction. As far as her movement will take her, and I think that will get her close enough to just send, let's see, which one is gonna do? She's, can I get within 10 feet? No.
No.
I'm sorry this isn't gonna be enough, but it's gonna be sick if it is. Alright, then I'm gonna just cast, Acid Splash, and just send, like, this bubble of acid to just, like, surround his head and, like, yeah.
Okay.
So they have to make a dexterity saving throw while he's down there on the ground.
Yeah.
Okay. Minus a d4. So it's a natural 17. Minus 1, 16.
He doesn't get disadvantage because he's on the ground or nothing?
Nope.
Then it doesn't do anything.
It scares the shit out of him. Like, it's like
It's not even a half damage?
I'm checking now. Nope. No, because it's just a cantrip.
Gotcha.
We'll scare him into righteousness.
And this thing of acid just kind of like floats up over him and just kind of like,
Just carries on.
yeah, it's like
Somewhere, someone gets very hurt.
Peasant. Just come across this peasant skeleton. Like, okay. And
It's the fox that was there last night.
Oh no.
Kaya, you're up, buddy.
I just look at Lost and I'm like, it's like he's playing with his food. He said he could go and then he tripped him. So I'm gonna just jump over that body and come down on this guy with my fist in his chest, just like a hammer fist.
You guys are ruthless. I thought I was ruthless.
Make an athletics check to see if we can get there.
Okay. Not an acrobatics check.
No, if you're just like full on, like almost like a Superman takeoff, you are jumping with the intent to land
Yeah.
with force.
I don't think that's gonna work. 7.
oh my god.
7. You go to, and as you do, your foot catches one of the tree knots, the tree roots that has been pulled up, and you and land on
pretty
the
hurt.
other side,
You're
but
pretty hurt.
prone.
How much movement do I have left? I have enough to stand up and attack him anyway, though, right?
Yep,
Okay. I'm gonna say, well, and
that was just funny.
yeah, and so, and I'm gonna say, I'm doing this because of all the other people that you've attacked and killed on this road. You're not gonna kill any longer, and natural 20. Just,
It's
Oh.
at disadvantage. He is
Oh.
prone.
but I get no, it's an advantage, right? Because I melee
Oh, it's a
attack.
melee attack. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yep, it's a natural 20.
Yeah.
How do you want to
Oh.
do this?
I'm gonna make it an acid attack because I want her acid idea to follow through, and I'm just gonna like slam that hammer fist down on his chest, and you're gonna see like just like an acid like wash down over him.
All right. So, actually, we'll add to that. That bubble of acid is just catching up, and as you kind of pull up with like mud stuck in your snout from eating it across the tree, you like, and it comes out, and you go and charge up with this like black ichor dripping down your arm as you arc down as the bubble goes underneath your fist, and you hit it and push it down hard on him as it splashes and as it's hissing as it as he just starts to melt, his skin just eating away, as his jaw is still gnashing in pain, as the tendons and muscles are still there until it finally eats away to the skeleton.
We make a good team, Adeline.
I quite say we do. Yes.
And
That's
with
all.
that, we will clean up that mess after a short break.
You shouldn't have harmed our horses.
Yeah.
So, please stick around. Thank you, Raiders, and everyone who is sticking around as well. We're going to be back. We're going to clean up this mess. We're going to see what happens afterwards as these guys travel to hopefully make it to the river before nightfall. So, we will be back very, very soon. Thank you, guys. Be right back. welcome back to the Swole Initiative Network. Thank you for sticking around while we did our peepees and had some snackies.
At the same time.
Where you were gonna go after the first bit.
Yep. Thanks everyone for sticking around. If you're not already, please just go and move your cursor over to that heart icon and just give us a little boop of love. It is absolutely free and it helps us out a ton. So thank you so much. Getting back into it, you guys had just dispatched with your encounter of thugs who surprised you and got in a little over their heads for what they were expecting. So as that ends, what would you like to do?
Horses.
Lost leans down, Lost squats next to the guy that Kaya just demolished, and he just kind of pokes at him and he sighs and he goes, and he just gets up and he's like, of all the times that you guys are ruthless, it had to be now.
Why did you care if this guy lived or not?
It's good to build up a reputation and notoriety.
You know, there's another guy that ran off to tell the tale.
But he doesn't know the name of Losteroth. What tale is he gonna tell?
Well, anybody that hurts horses, and they've probably been robbing people on this road for who knows how long. They don't deserve to live.
It's quite a clever scheme. How are we going to clear these trees, though? Or really just the one in front of us? It'd be silly to clear the one behind. Unless we want to make passage easier for other trucks.
Well, I'm going to pull out my hand axe and just start hitting the branches and knocking the branches
How
off.
thick are the trees? How thick?
They're not huge. They had like inspecting it, you had seen that they'd made several cuts in them, but these were basically like the young trees that had just kind of mostly been pushed.
Okay.
After kind of a couple of cuts in them that they could actually bend over with like brute strength.
I'm gonna see if I can dig my feet in and do like a leg press. Use my back and try to like use my leg and press them right off the road.
Okay. So you want to? How are you gonna move this? Because they are like covering the road.
Oh, so basically, I'm gonna use Shadow Archive physics and go to one end of it and try to move it from one end, from the furthest end, and then try to like put my back into it and just use my legs and try to kind of just.
So you basically want to flip it over like a caber?
No, like slide it. Like slide it.
Oh, okay. You want to kind of jettison it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Make a strength check.
Okay.
You know, I was going to cut this into smaller pieces. It would be easier to move.
Oh, no, I rolled a 15, so let me see here. I think that's pretty good. Because I'm athletic, so yeah, that's a 22.
22?
Yeah. I don't know how
you
good that is.
hunker down and press your legs into the cut trunk of the tree and kick off with all your strength. It kind of digs into the ground but moves over maybe 3 feet.
Wow, that's a lot of effort for 3 feet. I don't know if I have that many sets in me. Is that enough for us to squeeze the cart through?
I mean, you could get around it now.
Okay, that's just too much effort.
There's enough room for one horse to get past.
Got it. Yeah, I think Lost is gonna give up at that point. Too much work. Kaya, have at it.
Roz will go over to the horses And I guess the easiest would be to, is it unbridle them and then help them get to their feet so that they're not like toppled over and still bound, and then bridle them back up.
Yeah.
He'll start
Jerry is the
working
one that
them.
looks hurt. So he's having some trouble getting back to his feet.
Okay.
You see him kind of start to try and then kind of stumble a little bit.
I would be right there with the horse as well.
Ooh. I mean, I was going to give these to y'all, but he'll take out his 2 treats and feed them both to the horses so that they get 2 temporary hit points apiece. But they're like little candy apples. It's good.
So you go to feed Jerry the Scooby snacks. As his lips kind of like pull it out of your hand. It's kind of gross, but also endearing.
Mm.
It's the best.
It's gross for Rhapsody.
Okay.
Okay, maybe.
But yeah, he all of a sudden kind of holds himself in a different position, almost stronger, and kind of slowly gets back to his feet, and you're able to, with Rose's help, get them bridled again.
Can I, with that, is that enough? Can I see that the horse is okay? Is it needing?
No, it seems pretty much back to normal. Like the longer it goes on, the better Jerry seems to feel.
Okay. So my next question is, my decompose cantrip, I know it's a cantrip, will that work on a tree?
You can certainly try.
So for where he's pushed the tree, the 3 feet on that end, so it would potentially start that end and maybe make a bigger path, I will cast my decompose on like the trunk of the tree and try to see if like maybe like mushrooms start growing on it, or it like starts to
the bark around there that looks very vibrant and young, and the wood inside from where they've cut it open starts to turn almost like moist, and it starts to almost mulch. It doesn't do like a huge amount of area of that, but you've set it in for the tree. It'll take a while.
Right. So I would just really concentrate and keep using the cantrip there on that end, and then tell Kaya to try to chip away at this side.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I was thinking, that it's getting easier, like it's rotting while I'm hacking at it with my hand axe.
Yeah, okay. So let's see. Kaya, make a strength check, and Rose, make a wisdom check, as that's your spellcasting modifier.
18. I rolled a 17.
22.
Okay, yeah. I mean, what you figure out is that it's way easier for Rose to cast Decompose on one area, and then you to use the axe to chop through that part. And it takes you maybe an hour to kind of get that rhythm going. And then as soon as you realize it, you make pretty quick time decomposing and chopping the tree into smaller pieces that are able to be moved away from to the roadside.
All right.
The way is now free.
Good. Is everyone all right?
I'm gonna take a break now, and hopefully I'll get my second win here soon, and I'm gonna use my second win feature.
All
Is
right.
anyone short resting?
Well, I mean, we were doing that for an hour, so
While you were doing that, you weren't resting.
I don't need a short rest. So the people who were could be short resting.
I didn't have much.
Okay. So the cart is loaded back up again. Same two drivers.
Sure.
Yeah.
Lost, are you taking the reins?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, we'll maintain the other animal handling check. As you are the one that's been guiding the horses, so you've bonded with them a fair bit over the past 24 hours. So yeah, the cart starts wheeling off down the road again. Is there anything you would like to do or talk about as you travel?
Raz, what was it that you fed the horses?
Oh, it's a little recipe that I picked up back at home. It's kind of like a candied treat. Basically, if I have like fruits or anything, I can make little treats to give out. Was gonna give it to the boys, but I figured the Ted and Jerry might need it a little bit better.
Wow. That's really, really cool that you can do that. What a skill to have.
Have you ever cooked anything back where you're from?
We did cook. It was simple meals, though. I mean, nothing was ever really elaborate in the temple.
Well, the temple I grew up in, ingredients are rare, but we do get them. I guess it just depends on a bit of luck and a bit of imagination, and you can whip up some interesting things.
Wow. Well, I was prepared to heal that horse, and you took care of it. I think that's really, really nice to have somebody else to take care of things like that.
Guess every little bit counts.
It does.
I'm glad I could help.
Me too.
So some time passes by, and drivers make a perception check for me as you are getting through the trees and starting to see an opening.
15.
15.
This is my third natural 20 of the night.
It's your turn.
It's
All right.
insane. It's insane. So
Yeah, so you hear it first, the sound of rushing water. And as you guys are passing through the trees, it starts to open and the road actually takes you along the riverside. And so you see this fast flowing bluish green river, yellow sands on either side with large rocks kind of embedding this river as it runs alongside you on your left, and then on your right you still have the tree line.
does it look like there's a crossing anywhere?
Make a perception check.
Only got a 10 that time, or 10 on the dice, so 16.
16. What you notice is, because it's so open, you can actually see pretty far, like as far as the river goes. On the opposite side of the river, quite a ways down, maybe, I don't know, like 150 feet, there is what looks like a tower, almost like with a drawbridge on it, but it is up and extended. So
Well, let's head down there. There might be a crossing there. Lost. Head down about 150 feet, and I think there may be a crossing.
I'll take the wagon down there.
okay. So as you start to kind of trundle down that way, everyone go and make a perception check.
Natural 1.
Natural 20.
Oh, that's going to be big.
27.
19.
And
18.
18. Okay. 18 and above. You hear this deep, almost bellowing sobbing.
It's fine, Lost. I'll give you a treat tomorrow.
Marking that one.
Sounds like someone's upset or hurt.
Do I know like exactly where that location is? Like where it's coming from?
I mean, you know that like there's windows and shutters and things, and you had said previously that you were traveling with them open, so you can see the river on one side. Seems to be coming from within the trees.
Okay. And with my 27, I don't see the creature doing that. I just hear it.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Bearing in mind that you're inside the cart, so you can't see a lot other than directly out through that window.
Okay.
We're the two drivers. We didn't hear anything, so we're just going, huh? Yep.
I would like to like look for more, like put my head out the back and try to look towards the trees and see if there's something more that I can see.
Okay. Yeah. Natural 20. So we'll carry on that roll and just say that you're so focused on finding what you heard. You kind of grab on to the cart and hang out of the kind of cloth back to it. And looking through, you see nothing immediately, but as you look up over the trees, the larger trees in the back, a large group of them are starting to move.
The trees are moving?
And it's getting closer.
The trees are moving towards us?
No.
Something's pushing the tree.
Oh. Just want to make sure it's D&D. Sometimes the trees do.
Fair question. Because the trees are so thick. You saw the tall ones moving, and now that one stops, and closer ones are moving, and closer ones are moving, and closer ones are moving.
So I would immediately say aloud so that everyone could hear. There is something very large walking this way and crying.
Should I speed up or slow down?
I don't know.
And at that moment, you hear, "Go away!" And
Speed up.
and let me see. Ooh, that is a natural 1. But you see this giant rock.
Oh no.
As it just misses the horses and hits the riverbank and sends like a wave of water over you. As breaking through the tree line is what seems to be this overly muscled, thick hair on its forearms and shins, almost like a skullet style hair, with big mutton chops, with a very small head, with one silver rusted pauldron on its shoulder, and he carries what looks like a tree in one hand and what looks like a barrel in the other as he stumbles out into in front of you and starts drinking from the barrel. He throws it down.
I immediately, and this is like my first reaction, would do the channel divinity path to the grave, where I'm gonna curse the creature. Is he 30 feet from us?
No.
Oh shit! As soon as he's 30 feet, shit! I should have asked that question first.
He is roughly 60 feet in front of you.
Well, I can't do it because he's 30. I have to.
I'm just like in the front, and I see that big splash of water. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
And I need everyone to roll initiative.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I was trying to get it, guys. I was trying to give us a little bit of a buff, but wow, that's the highest initiative I've ever drawn. So much combat tonight. Does my inspiration still last?
No.
just
That only
kidding.
lasts for an hour.
I hold on to those for my concentration checks.
Alrighty, 25 to 20. Okay. 20 to 15.
16.
17.
Who was 16? Rose?
Yes.
And
17.
Oh, we're
Oh.
both?
Wow.
15.
17 was Rhapsody.
Yes.
15 was Kaya.
Yes.
Wow. You've done that twice, guys.
Ting, ting,
15 to 10.
14 for Lost.
We're all bunched right
Wow.
there together.
Yeah.
The same order.
No.
Almost. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Who am I missing? Am I missing anyone?
No.
Oh, because they're two on the same line. That's
Yeah.
why.
It's us.
And oh no.
What's your dex?
It's a 13.
Mine's a 15.
Okay. Do we have the map up?
Yep.
Yep.
Let's do it.
We're
Look
back.
how beautiful it is.
Yes. So nice.
I paid her to say that.
You get inspiration.
So, are you jumping down, or what are you trying to do? Are you just trying to barrel through?
Who are you asking? Me?
Lost, yeah, because you would be acting as this goes in.
Oh, yeah. So basically, Lost. How far is that drawbridge tower? Oh, it's in front of me. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I thought the creature was in back.
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
He's big.
Ha? Right? Huh? How do I start the horses?
Whoa. You
Whoa.
want to
Oh,
go or
ha.
stop?
Whoa.
What?
damn.
Whoa.
Damn. Whoa.
Diane's face.
I don't know anything else.
Just eye twitching.
Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa.
All right. So
Pull the parking brake.
you guys
Like
in there.
outbreaks.
You said, Rose, that you were hanging on, so I will
Yeah.
put you there. Let me see if I can. I can't. Just slightly. There we go. That should help. So you're over here, and then where would the other three like to go? Lily, by your sister.
Yeah.
Okay, you're right behind her.
Perfect.
Adeline.
Is it possible to stay in the cart but look out that window in it?
Sure.
It's a very
And-
Lucius move.
Cool.
And Rhapsody.
I guess if the cart stopped coming out the back.
Okay, to Kaya's side.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll say right there. Rhapsody, you're up. Actually, what would you like to do?
So he looks mad, or just like perturbed that we're here. Because if I attack him, he's definitely going to be mad.
He came out saying "go away," and then
Okay.
threw a boulder at you.
Okay. I will use one key point to step of the wind, so my movement will be 100, and I'll get
Where do you
fairly close, more towards
pretty
the
much anywhere. Where do you want to be?
Yeah. More towards the tree line, like those two trees, the little small tree and the bigger tree, closer to it. Let's see if
Like, you want to be over here?
down, like towards the actual creature.
Okay, so around this way, and then like here.
Yep, and then a little bit further, like in that little gully or that little opening to my mini's right. In the tree.
Oh, like over
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Yep.
And I will attack with my dagger.
Let's do it.
Oh, I don't think this is. It's doing dagger things.
Oh no.
12.
12 just misses.
Nice. I imagine it chinks off as something and comes back.
Yeah, his large rusty pauldron that he has there. It just kind of ding, bounces up, reappears in your hand.
That's right. Follow the blue dancing thingies, and I'm gonna throw it again at him. I rolled the same thing. Yeah, I'm just getting his attention. 2 chinks to the pauldron.
Yeah, so after feeling that dagger bounce off him a couple of times, he like wipes his nose, and you see like this giant green slime snot, like just it's starting to stick in the arm, the forearm hairs as he and looks down towards you. It's Rose and then Lily. The sisters are up.
Oh,
So you
also, I
said
only
he
hit
was-
him once because I patient defense or a step of the wind, so I use my bonus action.
Oh, got it.
So from where I am, he's 60 feet.
Yes.
Okay, so I want to use my full movement to get to 30 feet from him, but I want to like hang out by that tree if possible, or in between those trees.
30 can get you there.
Yeah, so I kind of want to be like kind of hovering behind that tree there, but I can see him, and that's all that matters. And I will use my channel divinity path to the grave, and I will curse him, and there is no like save or anything. I just do that. And he has the next time myself or an ally of mine hits the creature, he has vulnerability to all of that attack's damage, and then the curse ends. So that I've gotten that far, and that's my action, and all of my movement. So I'm just kind of trying to hang out behind that tree, but I know my sister is real close by, so I'm giving her a little bit of a buff on her attack.
All right. that the vulnerability, is that to melee or spell attacks as well?
Any attack.
It literally
Any
just
attack.
says
Okay, cool.
attack damage. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Lily, you're up.
And it's within 60 feet. You
Of
said?
you.
If you move like 5 or 10
Yeah.
feet, you can get within 60.
I would move within 60 feet and at second level cast, what do you know? Dissonant Whispers.
Emotional damage.
So I need a wisdom save.
Wisdom save. Well, you know, the bigger the guy, the wiser he is, right?
Oh, yeah.
That is 11.
That's a fail.
Ooh, roll high.
So,
46.
okay. That's pretty good. My lights are going crazy.
I see that.
The spirits are happy.
The spirits are with me.
Whispering.
16 damage.
That's 32.
Vulnerable to it, and it's frightened of me.
Okay.
Oh, that's huge.
Awesome.
And then needs to move away. So I will, without moving him, he will move 40 feet further away. So he's now,
What is going
yeah, like 60 feet away from Rhapsody. As he leave me alone, and just turns and takes off from that, seemingly unfazed from the damage, but
Oh. Even though he's vulnerable?
is that your turn?
Yes. Can I move
gonna move
closer to
in,
my
like,
sister?
Here. Yeah, you can get like here, like within 10 feet.
What?
You're within
Yeah,
10
you can
feet.
get within 10 feet.
Perfect. Yeah, I just want to be near my sister. And that's it.
Adeline found a cat in the back of the cart.
It's Poppy.
Poppy.
Okay.
He's the cat with us all the time.
Kaya, you are up.
And so this guy's just going to keep running away as long as Lily's with us, right?
No, it's just for one round.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it just like he uses his reaction to get.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
use
he
his
was
full
scared of you.
movement to get away, and then
No, the movement is centered away from Lily.
yeah,
But it's just for one round. He's not gonna.
it's just a
like, he's-
reaction. Yeah,
But is he still scared of you?
No.
and it's just a
Okay.
reaction.
Okay. All right. Then I'm gonna just move up.
I mean, he should be scared of me, but
Duh.
I am just going to move up next to Roz. And if I need to use action dash or bonus action dash, I'll just do whatever. And I'm gonna
Wait,
stay.
but I don't know why. I didn't hit him.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably not get up near that tree trunk right now. I didn't rest with y'all like a while ago, and so I'm not doing very well still. I'm just gonna if I need to, I'll start wailing on him, but right now I'm not gonna just expose myself like I did earlier.
And that's your turn?
Yep.
Sweet. Lost. You're up.
How much does 30 feet take me? I'll run up right next to Kaya.
It's just like duck, duck, goose.
Cool. I am actually going to double move and move another 15 feet and use my bonus action to summon up my shadow. My shadow just continues sliding towards the giant and ends up right in front of him or whatever.
Okay.
That's all. That's all I have.
It's still probably another 10 feet away. I'm just keeping it. Well, I can move it like.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay. Okay, then the
You guys can
shadow
still-
can move an extra. It can move 30 feet after I summon. So
Okay, so it's all the way up.
yeah.
Great.
Oh wait, I have action surge. I forgot. I'm a fighter. I'm gonna action surge. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And this is a hill giant. I think it's a hill giant. No meta. I'm gonna try the great weapon attack.
Okay.
I got 14.
14 hits.
14 hits. 17.
17. 17 points of damage.
Yep. Yep.
Nice.
And that's it.
So as it's turning and fleeing, your shadow skids out from yourself again, readying its chain as it launches the chain off at it. It comes off at a ridiculous speed and wedges itself between its shoulder blade as he stops and turns. Leave me alone like she did. And Adeline, you are up.
Oh, I was gonna do a thing, but now I feel compelled to do another thing. Is it possible at all for me to get within 30 feet?
Absolutely not. You're in the back of the car.
Yeah. No, that. Oh, wait, 60 feet even?
Within 60. Potentially, but you don't really know because you're in the back of a car.
Yeah, that is true. I did say that. I said that, and I was like, this is what I'm gonna do. And if I'm in the back of the cart, maybe I didn't hear him hint at maybe a sad underlying story that is gonna haunt me if I indeed hurt him.
Hey, okay, roll a perception check to see if you hear it.
No,
Because
no.
that will affect your action, right? Because you already had something teed up.
That's an 11.
You did not. You heard a lot of commotion and yelling, but the deep bass, like inside that like closed off area.
Chaos bolt then.
Oh god.
So that is a 23 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay. And I rolled 2 d8 and then a d6. So it'll be. Oh, and then I gotta choose what kind. Ooh, can I use? I gotta roll a d6. It's gonna be 9 plus. So 12 points, and I get to choose the damage type. I'd like for it to be lightning damage, and I'd like for the lightning to like arc up the metal chain that Lost is just like lodged between its shoulder blades, and then it's just like.
Ooh.
Can I do that?
Yeah. Okay. So you kind of aim through the window to the driver's seat as you unleash this like lightning arc of arcane energy as Lost's Echo is about to pull its chain back out, but it strikes into the ethereal chain and arcs up in a spiral, and as he now is fully turned back around. Is there anything else you want to do?
No, no, no.
Okay. He is going to. Yeah, he's gonna make another rock throw. At. Yeah, you two. So that is a. Oh, that's an 18 to hit.
So. Flavored, does this count as a deflect missile? Projectile.
It does,
You
right?
have to be able to hold it in your hand.
Oh, I do?
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Just
Just throw it back at him.
You have to be able to actually hold the missile in your hand.
Yeah, it does
Okay,
not.
okay.
It does not.
throw
Playing
pebbles at us
dodgeball.
next
Does an
time.
18 hit Rhapsody?
Yes, meets it.
All right. That is 3d10 plus 5.
Oh.
I should have patient defensed.
Oh, I should have unleashed incarnation. Just finish this dude off. Oh.
That's
Just
21,
finish him.
21 points of bludgeoning damage.
I'm going to intercept some of that with my interception fighting style, and I can reduce it by.
I thought you got hit too.
He didn't get hit.
Oh, I thought you both. Oh, I
It
thought
missed. It
It
missed.
missed me.
Oh, got it.
That will be 11 points reduced.
Nice.
All right. So what's that? 10 points
10.
bludgeoning
So
damage.
basically, I like grabbed him and removed. He didn't get the the brunt of the hit. Like I just grabbed him and jerked him.
Yep. Yeah. So you're able to pull, but it still kind of strikes the back of your leg as you're moving away, as you kind of spin off to the side, kind of pulled from two different directions. That will end his turn as he starts to sob again. Just leave. Rhapsody, you're up.
Nice. As Kaya does that, and the brunt of it doesn't squish Rhapsody completely. Oh, thank you, Kaya. I wasn't expecting large obstacles to attack us from the sky. He is going to use his action, and Kaya, you've probably seen this before, but you're just going to see like gold flickers on like the injuries for him as he taps into some innate healing and does quickened healing to recover 1d4 plus 2 hit points.
Nice.
Hopefully max. Yes, 6. I get 6 back. Take that, rock. And then he's gonna like take a deep breath, focus, patient defense, and so they're not cluttered. Move 50 feet down through the brush and maybe to the left of this guy, but you can keep him on the map if that helps with
Yeah.
positioning.
Oh, he didn't move. He was gonna move as well, so he would just push through to here. Now staring you both down. And then where did you want to move to?
I'll move right next to Lost's carnation version of himself and just like strike a pose next to him. Patient defense lead, of course. I knocked him over. Oh no!
Everyone's dead.
Lost, get yourself together. We have to look cool.
Yeah, so you take off and kind of back-to-back pose with the echo.
Yeah.
Very like JoJo anime.
Yeah. Just extra as fuck. Yeah, that'll end my turn.
Sweet. Rose with Lily on deck.
I would like for him to make a charisma save.
Okay. Because you are casting.
Calm emotions.
That is a 6.
Oh, good. Okay, so it worked. So I'm going to I guess take my full movement forward. Ooh, and say, wait. Wait! And as I cast the calm emotions on him, I'm going to ask him, who is she?
Okay.
And then I will kind of motion to everyone, do not attack.
Read me the spell for calm emotion so I have the wording.
I can make a target indifferent about creatures of my choice if it is hostile towards them. This indifference will end if the target is attacked or harmed by a spell, or if it witnesses any of its friends being harmed. When the spell ends, the creature becomes hostile again, unless the DM rules otherwise.
Okay. Okay. So you say, who is she? And you see him, like, as he's really, really tense, his shoulders start to sag a little. And he just, like a toddler, sits on the ground with his legs out in front of him. And he says, Gerta!
Well, where is she?
She left.
So you're just really sad?
Yes.
And I'll reach up.
tried to drink and it made it worse.
Yeah, that's usually how that goes. And I'll reach up and I'll grab a flower and I'll be like, I'm so sorry you're sad. And I'll hand him a flower. Don't kill me.
And he reaches down his hulking hand. I don't even know the size comparison, but he just kind of takes it and just crushes it, pulls it up to him, opens his hand, and it's just kind of smushed in his hand and says, "Thank you."
You're welcome. We were just trying to get across the river.
I just wanted to be alone.
Oh, well, we can leave you alone. We're just gonna cross the river.
Can you help us across the river?
I can throw you.
No.
Maybe not throw us. What about this bridge over here?
Oh. Mean men.
Mean man?
They're mean to Jop.
Are you Jop?
I'm Jop.
Oh, I'm sorry someone has been mean to you.
But not as mean as she was.
Oh, calm down.
Lost just turns around and goes, "Oh, for Christ's sakes!" And he starts walking back towards Kaya and towards the wagon. And then as he passes Kaya, he just whispers to Kaya, he's like, "I think we should just spare him the heartbreak and kill him."
No.
I like
No.
how y'all's emotion just like, we're gonna kill people. We're not gonna kill people.
I'll just whisper to Kaya, I'm like, "Look at him. His prospects aren't very good."
He's sad.
I'll just keep walking towards the wagon and getting it ready.
Okay. What would you guys like to do? You have a crying giant.
Yep. Is there any way you could help us with the bridge?
Men no like Jop.
Who is the man and where is he?
Men in tower.
Oh,
I see crossing sometimes.
okay. Well, I know you're sad, and it looks like you're alone.
I am alone.
Well, you're our friend now. So, at least you know you've got some friends.
Really?
Well, you threw a boulder at us, so we kind of had to react, but I heard you saying that you were so sad that someone left you, so
I understand your initial reaction.
good.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh, okay.
With advantage, because you've used calm emotions on him.
Okay. 18. 18.
18?
Mhm.
He like looks down, looks back up at you. These giant puppy dog eyes that are just welling up, just about to start crashing from his face. And he says,
I'm sorry. I'll let you pass because you Jop's friend,
We are.
and if Jop has friends, Jop can be alone without being alone in here.
I'd like to cast message to Rose.
okay.
So a bunch of whispers, like right behind her ear, almost like a ghost is whispering into her ear in my voice. I'm gonna be like, "Is he gonna join the Fate Army?"
And I'll respond. I'll say, I think he's on our side now.
And as he's getting up from the ground, he picks his tree back up. And he looks over at the large cask that he was drinking from. And he says,
This isn't the answer.
and he picks it up and just pours it into the river. Drunk fish tonight, woo!
Waste of alcohol.
And it would be right in front of you as well.
Third time's a charm.
Very effective emotional damage.
And so he
All the alcohol.
starts to take his leave and moves into the trees, or moves the trees, as he starts making his way back through the forest.
Bye.
Such a waste of alcohol.
And with that, that's where we're gonna end tonight, and we will pick up
God.
next time. Best end to combat in this season. Yeah,
This campaign's history.
Yep, it's in the campaign. Yep,
I mean,
all
he's
of the
pretty
epic
cool.
kill moves.
So good.
Yep. Awesome. Thank you so much for sticking around, everyone. I hope that didn't let down too many people.
No way. Look at that beautiful map.
But you had some badass combat at the beginning as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
2 combats, 2 different maps. What's gonna happen next time? You'll have to tune in. Next week, no, not next week. We'll be off next week, but next week on Monday,
Yes.
you can tune in for the next episode of The Legends of Shargal, DM'd by our very own Diane DeCarlo.
And if you would like to set up your own combat maps like this, just head over to Griffin Co. and get some terrain and some minis and some paint. Well, I don't know if they sell paint, but you can get all those things and then paint it yourself.
Okay, Kaya.
It's Roll 22.
Stay up super late making terrain.
Yes.
Yes. The
Worth
river is really cool.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, thank you everyone for sticking around. If you haven't already, just give us a little boop on the heart icon on Twitch and give us a follow, because it does help us a lot. And if you want to chat with us about sad giants, I guess, jump into our Discord and chat with us. We're super active in there and love getting to know everyone. So, yeah, come and be part of the fun. Are we gonna? Do we have a raid lined up?
Our very own Mike,
Oh,
who plays
short nod.
D&D on his
Nice.
channel. So
He's going to
yeah.
be a player on Monday on Legends of Shargal, so make sure you come back to see him play on this channel. Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a great weekend. Thank you for starting it the right way with us right here. See you guys Monday. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.